Hello and welcome to the next YouTube video on my channel. If you want to get better at chess, then this video is just right for you. Because in this video I'm going to show and explain you a very interesting and strong chess trap. If you're interested in learning more about new other chess traps, then feel free to check out the other YouTube videos on my channel and don't forget to subscribe. So today the trap is a checkmate and 12 moves trap, which you can play with the white chess pieces with the Ruy Lopez, or also called the Spanish game. So let's get started. At first I'll show you how this trap will look like if it will work perfectly, so if your opponent will do every move that you want him to do. And then I will go through all the moves of this trap again and show you them a bit more detailed, and also explain you how to answer with the black chess pieces with the idea not to lose this game after 12 moves. So how I have already said, this trap begins with the Spanish game. So pawns e4, e5. Now you attack black's pawn on e5 with the move with your knight on f3, and the black army defends their pawn with knight c6. Now you continue with developing your bishop on b5, attacking black's knight on c6. And here, the black army attacks your pawn on e4 with pawn f6. This move is the main or the key move of the Berlin defense. So here the black army attacks your pawn on e4, but you don't defend your pawn, but you rather do not a short castling, gifting your opponent your pawn here on e4. Of course, he just takes it, because why not? And you now continue with a very interesting move, and that's pawn d4. So we're here now still playing the open game of the Ruy Lopez opening, but this variation now with pawn d4 is called the Rio game accepted, because here the black pawn on e5 takes out your pawn on d4, so accepts the gambit, and so now you've already gifted two of your pawns to the black army here in the center of the chessboard. But now you don't stop attacking your opponent, because here you play now rook e1, pinning your opponent's knight here on e4. Therefore he cannot move away, for example on f6, because of the check then, because of the king here on e8. Therefore the black army has to defend their knight. Here they play pawn d5. Now you just take out black's pawn here on d4. At first you probably think, well, that's a bad move because the black knight here on c6 can just take out your queen, but no, he can't because he's pinned too here, not by your rook on e1, but by your bishop here on b5. Therefore, the black army tries to unpin their knight, and here they do this with playing the move pawn a6 and taking your bishop here. Therefore, you trade the knight here with the bishop, so you take, and the black army takes with the b pawn, and now your queen also here isn't attacked anymore. But here you really don't stop attacking your opponent. Here you now play knight g5, attacking your opponent's knight on e4 now with the third chess piece. Now you're taking it with your knight, with your rook, and also with your queen. And the black queen on d8 also can take out your knight here, because he's defended by your bishop here on c1. So here, your plan is to win a pawn with this triple attack, and here it is also interesting in this position that the black knight here on e4 can take out your knight on g5, because he's still pinned by your rook on e1. Therefore, the black army decides to trade queens here, to not lose this pawn here on e4 with the knight. So here they play queen f6. And now you have the brilliant move, sacrificing your queen. So here you take out black's knight on e4 with your own knight from g5, gifting your opponent your queen on d4. But if your opponent does the mistake and really takes out your queen here, which actually would be bad for you, but you have here now a checkmate in 2 moves. And you do this with starting to double check your opponent's king. So here you play now bishop f6, you check now with the knight, and 2 with your rook here on e1. And the only square that's left for the black king now is d8. And now you have the beautiful move rook e8. That's checkmate. Isn't this really beautiful? So now you have won after 12 moves with this trap. So how I've already said, I will go through all the moves of this trap once again now and explain them a bit more detailed, and I will also show you how to answer with the black chess pieces against your opponent, so against the white army who tries to play this trap against you with the idea not to lose the game after 12 moves. So you can basically always try to play this trap against your opponent when you play the Ruy Lopez, or also called the Spanish game. So, and he here now answers with the main or the key move of the Berlin defense, so knight f6 in this position, attacking your pawn on e4. How I've already said, you just give your opponent your pawn by doing the short castling, and after he has taken out your pawn on e4 with this knight from f6, you just play pawn d4, so offering the real gambit of this line, and the black army accepts it, so he takes out your pawn now here on d4. So here you now continue with pinning black's knight on e4 with the move with the rook on e1. Obviously, the black knight here can't move away somewhere because he's pinned, therefore he has to be defended. And here in this trap, the black army plays pawn d5. This move is possible, it is actually not that bad, but the better move here actually would be to play pawn f5. But let's say the black army plays pawn d5. Here you now just take out black's pawn on d4 with the queen. Here the black knight on c6 can take out your queen because he's pinned too. So this position is really pretty interesting because both of black's knights are pinned. Here this knight pinned by a rook and this knight pinned by a bishop. After you have taken out black's pawn on d4 with your queen, the black army can play pawn a6, with the idea that after you have moved away with the bishop because he's attacked now, for example, let's say on d3, attacking black's knight here on e4, to take out your queen on d4 with the knight from c6, because he isn't pinned anymore by your bishop. Therefore, the better move after a6, of course, will be just to trade bishops here. To trade your bishop with the black army's knight here. So you take out black's knight on c6, and the black army, of course, takes with the g-pawn. And to win this game here now, after 12 moves with this trap, you have to keep on playing aggressive. And you do this with knight g5. Now you're attacking black's knight on e4 with the third chess piece. You're attacking it now with the knight, 2 with your rook on e1, and with your queen here on d4. So this position right now on the chessboard is actually pretty interesting, because here you, with your knight on g5, are attacking black's knight on e4, but he cannot take out your knight with his own knight because he's pinned by a rook on e1, and it will be a checkmate. And the black army can't also take out your your knight on g5 with the queen because he's defended by a bishop on c1. So here in this position, if the black army decides to play queen a6 with the idea to trade queens in this position, then this move is actually obviously a very, very big mistake here. Because here you can just take out black's knight on e4, I've already shown you before, attacking your opponent's queen on f6, and you obviously can't take out your queen here because of the forced checkmate that will follow that in 2 moves. So obviously a better move for the white army after knight g5 would be to play either bishop f5 or pawn f5 to defend their knight on e4, which is attacked by 3 of the white army's pieces. But if the black army wherever decides to play queen f6 to trade the queens here, so this is actually pretty much, we can say, the only mistake in this trap. So the other moves are actually not bad of the black army, and a lot of moves are pretty good. But this is the mistake here, queen f6, because now you just take out black's knight on e4 with your own knight. If the black queen now takes out your queen, then checkmate in 2 moves after knight f6 and rook e8. But if he does not take out, then the best move here would be actually to just take out your knight here on e4 with their pawn from d5. So that was it already with this video about this checkmate in 12 moves trap, which you can play with the Ruy Lopez, or also called the Spanish game, with the white chess pieces. I hope that you liked this video. If you liked it, feel free to leave a like there and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would also be nice if you really try out this trap once in a real chess game against your opponent.